So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for choosing to practice with me today. I'm George. I'm going to be covering for Dave this week. So I imagine that it will be slightly different to what Dave does, but hopefully you'll still enjoy it. My intention is that you feel better after class than when you entered. So let's get started and see how we get on. So we are going to get started in an easy, simple, cross-legged position. So the knees go wide and the feet sit in front of each other. If when you do this, the knees are higher up than the hips are, you might want to grab a cushion and sit up onto that. So you're trying to create this tripod-like shape where the knees and the buttocks are all grounded. If at any point you do need to change the position of the legs, go right ahead. Just choose one that allows your spine to be upright. So we are going to be here for some time, so settling in. Like I said, if you would prefer to change the position of the legs, another variation or option could be to kneel. And again, you could use a cushion or two underneath the buttocks. Wherever you are, you're resting the hands in the lap. The right hand is on top of the left and the tips of the thumbs touch. It's closing down the eyes if you're comfortable doing so, otherwise just softening your gaze. And just beginning by checking in with your posture. Evenly rooting down through both sit bones. And then rebounding up through the core. Your chest. And then just try to position your shoulders above your hips so you're not punching forwards, nor are you leaning back. The chin draws in, the back of the neck is in line with the spine. Relax the muscles of the face. Crown of the head reaches to the sky like the proud peak of a mountain. Settling into this shape. Settle into the space. And settle your attention and awareness on your breath. So you're breathing in and out of the nose only, mouth is closed. As you breathe, trying also to engage the muscle at the back of the throat. It's the same muscle that you would use to whisper, therefore it creates a rasping sound for the breath. This ocean-like sound is very soothing, very calming. And this breathing technique will help to generate an internal heat in the body, thereby protecting you from the inside. Just holding attention and awareness on your breath. And then guide attention and awareness into your physical body. Just notice how you feel on a physical level right now. If there's any aches, pains, injuries, ailments, just being aware of them as you move through the practice. None of the poses should feel painful. They might feel uncomfortable, but there is a difference between discomfort and pain. I appreciate that pains can be quite subjective, so as a guide, if you do at all feel anything that's sharp, shooting, electrical, stabbing, burning, that kind of thing, the body is trying to signal you to back off. So do listen. Most of the poses will be holding for about 5 breaths. So even if you do need to exit out of the pose we're in, we'll be catching you up real quick. Okay, bringing your attention and awareness back to the physical space now. You might swallow here, which helps to ground. And then just flutter your eyes open and notice which foot it is that you have in front, left or right. And from there, lean back on the hands, so the shoulders are behind the hips roll back. And once you can't resist the urge any longer, straighten out your legs. You might flex or point the toes. You could circle the ankles. You might jiggle the legs or massage the knees. And then recross the legs or come back to kneeling and find that upright position with the spine again. If you are crossing the legs, opposite foot in front, and if you didn't make a mental note, it'll be the one that feels least natural. Try to catch your hands now behind your back. If that's not possible, you're catching your elbows, forearms, or wrists. From there, lower your chin to your chest, and on your in-breath, take your right ear towards your right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear towards left shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest, drawing semicircles with the head. Inhale to the right side. Exhaling to center. Inhale, left side. Exhale, do 2 more rounds to your own breath count. And as you move through them, just being mindful that you're not starting to hunch forwards. So keeping your shoulders above your hips. After your in-breath to the left, exhale, bring the chin to the chest. And on your next breath in, bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. And pause there, continuing with your breath. So drop your right shoulder down and away from the right ear. At the same time, keep dropping that right ear towards the shoulder. Face and the neck are soft. Prioritizing the breath. Breathing with sound. On your out breath, bring the chin to the chest. Inhaling, left ear towards left shoulder. Exhale to pause there. So keep dropping your right shoulder down away from the ear, emphasizing the side stretch in the neck. Same time, let that left shoulder be heavy too. Left ear towards left shoulder. Check the position of your shoulders. You're not starting to lean forwards. And on your out breath, bringing the chin to the chest. Inhale, lifting your head, back of the neck is in line with the spine. Exhale, release the hands. As you breathe in, raise your arms, interlace your fingers, arch your spine as you look up. Exhale, bring the hands behind the head, elbows together, round your back, chin and tummy draw in. Inhale, reach high, arch your spine, look up. Exhale, hands to eye level, round your back. Inhale, bring the hands towards the heart space as you arch the spine and look up. Exhale, pressing the hands away from you. On your in-breath, reaching high, arch the spine, look up. Exhale, side bend to the right. On your in-breath, look up beyond the lifted elbow. On your out-breath, look down. Inhale, reach high, interlace your fingers, arch your spine, look up. Exhale, sides bending to the left. Your in-breath, look up the unlifted elbow. On your out-breath, gazing down. Inhale, reach high, interlace your fingers, arch your spine, look up. Exhale, round down over the right knee, so you're doming the back body. On your in-breath, lifting the chest to the right side. On your out-breath, you're twisting, perhaps adjusting your hand position. Inhale, reach high, interlace your fingers, arch your spine, look up. Exhale, rounding down over that left knee. Inhale, lift your chest to the left. Exhale to twist, perhaps looking over your left shoulder. Inhale, reach high, interlace your fingers, arch your spine, look up. Exhale, plant the hands down in front of you, roll over your knees and find a tabletop position. So move any cushions or yoga bricks out of the way. And set up in a tabletop position. Now you'll see that I'm using a blanket here underneath my knees to cushion the knees. You might want to do the same. If you don't have a blanket close by, a towel would work or a layer of clothing. When you set up in this tabletop position, make a mental note of where the tip of your middle finger comes to on the mat, and then bring the heel of your hand to the wrist in line with that mark. So you're basically bringing your hands a hand span forward. So the wrists are no longer underneath the shoulders, they're forward. So this new position with your hands will make the next part easier. So don't underestimate the span of your hands. And every time I say tabletop from here on in, we're going to do this longer variation. So inhale here. And on your out breath, lower your whole body to the ground. If that's too difficult, take your hands even further forward. Inhale, lift your chest. Cobra pose, there's no weight in the hands here. Exhale back to child's pose. Inhale into that longer tabletop position. On your out breath, lower your whole body to the ground. As I said, if this transition is challenging for you, take your hands further forward. Inhale, lift your chest. No weight in the hands here, cobra pose. Exhale back to child's pose. I'll talk you through one more round of these modified half vinyasas and then you're on your own, so listen up. Inhale for tabletop. Exhaling to lower. Inhale, lifting your chest. Press your feet down into the ground here. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. Twice more to your own breath. After your out breath to child's pose, come back to that tabletop position. So the next part of our practice is going to involve a lot of stepping a foot forwards between the hands. So let's have a go at that now. So stepping one foot forwards and then try the other foot. Now what might happen is that when you try to step the foot forward, it gets stuck. So you could just lift your foot up and plant it down between the hands. One option. Or it might get stuck and you just heel toe the foot forward until you finds the space between the hands. Okay, so starting in the tabletop position. Inhale here. And on your out breath, step your right foot forwards between the hands. Inhale to raise your arms for low lunge. Exhale to soften here. So you want the front knee to be stacking above the front ankle. As a general rule of thumb, stacking the joints is safest. To help with your balance here, you could look forwards at one point that's not moving. If you wanted to test your balance, try looking up between the hands. On your out breath, bring your hands down. Inhale for tabletop. And on your out breath, lower. Inhale, lifting your chest, cobra pose, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Exhale into child's pose. Inhale back to a tabletop position. On your out breath, left foot steps forward. Inhale to reach high. Exhale to consolidate here in this low lunge. So do make sure you're cushioning that back knee, especially if the ground you're practicing on is quite hard. Keep pressing the back of foot, the top of that back foot into the ground so that back leg is switched on. Breath happening here. On your out breath, frame the front foot with the hands. Inhale for tabletop. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. Second round, inhale for tabletop. On your out breath, right foot steps forward. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, bring the hands down, walk them to the left side as you swivel on that back knee. So that back shin is now parallel to the short edge of your mat. On your in-breath, bring your front heel in line with your back knee. Those front toes point forwards. Exhale, arms parallel to the ground in this floor-based version of Warrior Two. So you're lunging deeply, so the front knee again stacks above the front ankle. When you glance down towards that front foot, make sure that you can see your front big toe. So you don't want the front knee to be collapsing inwardly. On your out breath, cartwheel hands, frame the front foot, swivel on the back knee. Inhale for tabletop. That can be a difficult transition. Exhale to lower. On your in-breath, lift the chest. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. On your in-breath, find a tabletop position. On your out-breath, left foot steps forward. Inhale to reach high. Exhale, bring your hands down, walk them to the right side as you swivel on the back knee. Inhale, front heel in line with back knee. Then exhale, bringing the arms parallel to the ground for Warrior Two. So check that your back arm is lifted and then look forwards over your front middle finger. Face and neck are soft here. Just checking that you're breathing in and out of your nose, mouth is closed. On the out breath, frame the front foot with the hands, swivel on the back knee. Inhale for tabletop. On your out breath, lower. Inhale, lifting your chest. No weight in the hands here in Cobra. Exhale, hips back. We're going to do 2 more rounds and then we will rest. So inhale for tabletop. On your out breath, right foot steps forward. Inhale to reach high. Exhale, bring the hands down, walk them to the left as you swivel on the back knee, back shin parallel to short edge of the mat. Inhale, front heel in line with back knee. Exhale, arms parallel to the ground. Inhale, bring your right forearm onto your right thigh. That right palm faces up. And then exhale, sweep your left arm over. So floor-based version of extended side angle. It's a side stretch, so reach forwards with your left fingertips. The palm is facing down. Perhaps look up beyond the lifted fingers here. That's not suitable for the neck, just looking down towards the ground. On your out breath, frame the front foot with the hands, swivel on the back knee. Inhale for tabletop. On your out breath, lower. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. On your in breath, find a tabletop position. On your out breath, left foot steps forward. Inhale to reach high. Exhale, bring the hands down, walk them to the right as you swivel on back knee. Inhale, front heel in line with back knee. Exhale, arms parallel to the ground. Inhale, left forearm to left thigh. Exhale, right arm sweeps over. So really press down through that back knee as you reach forwards with the right fingers. It's going to create that gorgeous side stretch down the right side of the body. Watch out for your right shoulder dropping forwards. Keep it moving back so you're stacking the shoulders. The chest faces forward. Okay, on the out breath, frame the front foot, swivel on back knee. Inhale the tabletop. On your out breath, lower. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhaling, child's pose. Final round as you breathe in, find a tabletop position. On the breath out, step your right foot forwards. Inhale to reach high. Exhale, bring the hands down, walk them to the left as you swivel on the back knee. On your in-breath, bring your front heel in line with back knee. On your out-breath, arms parallel to the ground. Inhale, right forearm to back. Exhale, left arm sweeps over. Inhale, reach your left fingertips forward. Exhale, frame the front foot with the hands, swivel on the back knee and hold there. On your in-breath, bring your right foot towards your right hand. Exhale, lifting that right hand to the sky. So keep squeezing your inner thighs towards each other. That right knee and hip are not winging outwardly. Really reaching high with the right fingertips, lifting that right shoulder. And then on the out breath, framing the front foot. Inhale for tabletop. On your out breath, lower. Inhale, chest lift. Exhale, hips back. Final round on the left side as you breathe in, find a tabletop position. On your breath out, left steps forward. Inhaling to reach high. Exhale, bring hands down, walk them to the right side as you swivel on the back knee. On your in-breath, front heel in line with back knee. On your out-breath, bring the arms parallel to the ground. Inhale, left forearm to the left thigh. On your out-breath, reach over. Inhale, reach the right fingertips forward. And then as you breathe out, bring the hands to frame the front foot, swivel on the back knee and hold there. Inhale, left foot towards your left hand. And on your out breath, reaching the left hand to the sky here. So lifting that left shoulder up, creating space in the sternum. Sink a little deeper into the hips. On your out breath, frame the front foot with the hands. Inhale for tabletop. On your out breath, lower. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. So holding pose of the child as you re-establish the breath. Your forehead doesn't rest completely on the ground. You might use a cushion underneath it, or you could just pillow your palms. So steadying the breath here. Directing the breath right down into the deepest recesses of the lungs. Filling the lungs. Sensing your torso expand in all directions. Okay, come to that tabletop position once again. You might just need to move back slightly. Stack your hips above your knees now as you walk your hands forward, melting chest and heart space to the ground. So if you do have the mobility to rest the chin on the ground and look forward, go ahead, as that will make breathing more accessible. Otherwise, you're resting the top of the forehead on the ground. The chin draws into the back of so you don't squash the nose. Check in with where you're feeling it here. So we're aiming to get into the thoracic region of the spine, the point between the shoulder blades. If you realize that you're actually feeling it in your hips, it might be because your hips are moving too far back. So it's different to child's pose, as the hips are not moving back, instead they're stacking above the knees. If when you checked in you realize that you felt it in the lower back, it could be because your hips are coming too far forward. So instead just nudge your hips back so you can work into the mid to upper back, the area around the shoulders. Okay, walk your hands in now, lift your head, your chest. From there, step your right foot forwards between your hands. So you're just looking for this short stance between the front heel and the back knee. And then you're going to send this front knee over the front ankle and bring your hands down to the ground. So we're aiming to get into that right ankle. In order to feel it there, the front knee is positioned over the ankle rather than above the ankle like we did in the flow. And it may feel quite unusual to experience sensation in the ankle. It's quite a difficult place to access. Bow the head here, letting the head be heavy. And then from there, next bit might be slightly tricky. Take your left knee, your back knee, to the outside of your right heel, and then sit down onto your left buttock. So we're setting up for a pose called half Lord of the Fish twist. You're not sat on that left heel, but you're sat next to it. So if I show you from the other way, you're sat next to that left heel, and that right foot is planting down. If this shape is not appropriate for you, try straightening the bottom leg. The emphasis here is the twist. So reach your right hand back, place it on the ground next to the sacrum, and hug that right knee with your left arm. On your in-breath, you're lifting your chest to the right side. And on your out-breath, you're twisting. Be active in the pose, so moving with each breath that you take. Gaze, you're looking over your right shoulder. Looking in the direction you're moving in helps to direct the flow of energy in your body. Okay, on the in-breath, look forwards. And on your out-breath, release the arms and cross the legs. So you've got the right leg crossing in front of the left. You can either rest the hands on the knees or on the ground in front of the feet. You might need to sit up onto a cushion here if you're kind of collapsing back and you're struggling to go forwards. On your in-breath, lift your chest up, and on your out-breath, go forwards. Now, as we go forwards, we want the back to be flat, to be straight, rather than to be rounded. Now, what happens when you round the back, and you could even try it, is that you stretch the muscles that support the spine. Now, it's not that that's dangerous. It's simply that we're trying to get into the hips in this pose. So keep the back straight so that you can focus on what you feel in the hip area. So the head is lifted, you're not dropping the chin to the chest. Okay, walk your hands in now, if not already, and then find your way into that tabletop position again. Let's work through those poses on the other side. So stepping your left foot forwards between your hands. And again, you're just looking for that short stance between the front heel and the back knee. Hips move forwards and down, so the front knee is overstepping the ankle as you bring the hands to it. So gather your attention and awareness on that left ankle, the front ankle. In order for the knee to go beyond the ankle, it might be that that left heel is lifted. If you feel stable enough like this, stay as you are. If it feels a little unstable, slide the back knee away from you by tucking the toes under. You could do that a few times and that will bring that front heel down. Heavy here. And then bring the hands in towards the left foot. That tricky transition again. So bring right knee to the outside of your left foot. Then sit down onto your right buttock. You could either stay here for half Lord of the Fish twist, or you could straighten the bottom leg. So reach the left hand back, place it on the ground next to the sacrum, and hug that left knee with your right arm. Inhale, lift your chest to the right side, sorry, to the left side. Exhale, walk that left hand around the back. So really hug that knee in towards your chest. At the same time, you're lifting your chest, your torso over that left thigh. Your left shoulder blade draws into the back to open up the sternum. And you're gazing over that left shoulder. You're looking in the direction you are moving in. It's always a good idea. On your in-breath, look forward. Exhale, release the arms and cross the legs. So the left leg is in front this time. Again, you might need to sit up onto a cushion here, either resting the hands on the knees or bringing your hands forward of your legs. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale to go forwards. So keep your back flat, straight here. Focusing on what you're feeling around the hips. Try to resist dropping your chin to the chest and instead look forwards, again looking in the direction you're moving in. Let go of any intention to come down towards the ground and instead keep going forwards. Okay, walk your hands in now, lifting your head and your chest. Move any blankets out of the way. Have them close by. And then you're going to lie back on your mat. Set up with the knees bent. And then from there, lower your knees to the ground. So take the knees wide, bringing the soles of the feet together here in the reclining butterfly pose. Now you decide where you need to position the feet. It might be that you slide the feet forward, creating quite a large diamond shape for the legs. Your hips are externally rotating here. The opposite of what you tend to do as you sit on a chair. So if you do a lot of sitting, it might be why this pose feels uncomfortable. But if we check it's outside of our comfort zones, the growth, the transformation happens. From there, stretch out your legs now, ready for Shavasana, our final relaxation. So if you've still got a blanket close by, you could use that underneath your head as a cushion, or you could unravel it and drape it over the top of you for comfort. You might want to add some extra layers here. And I like quite a generous Shavasana, so do take the time to set up and settle in. The feet go wide, the arms go wide, palms face up. If you feel comfortable doing so, close down your eyes, otherwise just soften your gaze. And then begin by relaxing the tip of each toe. Relax the balls of the feet. Soften the gentle arches of the feet. Heels are heavy. Ankle bones roll out. Soften soften the tops of the feet. Both feet completely relax. Relaxing shin bones right down to ankle bones. Calf muscles relax. Relax backs of knees. Kneecaps relax. Relax fronts of thighs. Relax backs of thighs. Relax buttocks. Hips heavy, the deepest joint in the body. Legs completely relax. Relaxing lower part of the back. Relax middle part. Shoulder blades relax. Relax the shoulders. Let's do that again on your next breath out. Relax the shoulders. Relaxing upper arms. Elbows. Forearms rolling outwardly. Relaxing the wrists from the inside out. From backs of hands. Fingertips curling inwardly like the petals of a flower, oozing with the moonlight. Holding space in the palms. Both hands completely relax. Arms completely relax. Feel into chest and heart space. Rib cage heavy. Just rising and falling of abdomen. Barely loose. Relax internal organs of torso. Upper body completely relax. You're relaxing each of the 7 vertebrae in the back of the neck. Relax base of skull, first vertebra. Soften the throat. Unhinge the jaw. Relax ears. Chin draws in, back of the neck is in line with spine. Relaxing tongue behind top teeth. Cheekbones are soft. Eyes heavy. Frowning of brows. Forehead smooth. Face completely relax. Whole body completely relax. Just beginning now to deepen and lengthen your breath. Roll your head from side to side. Pull your fingers and toes. And then give yourself a good stretch. Stretch the whole body. Bend your knees. And then lower your knees towards the ground on the right side, rolling onto that side of the body. And without making any sudden movements, come to an easy seated pose on your mat. Raise the arms, bring the hands to prayer above your head. Comes to the eyebrow center, the point between the brows for kindness of thought. Bring the thumbs to your lips, the kindness of speech. And then thumbs to heart space, the kindness of actions towards others and yourself. Bow the head in gratitude. Namaste. So thank you so much everyone for joining. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your week. Take care and see you again soon sometime. Thanks for coming, Irene.